Some people move through history like they've wandered off an action movie set without ever realizing the cameras were rolling. You can be smart, calculated, and careful, but then there are the people who prove that one baffling decision mixed with a physics-defying miracle is the real secret to the history books. These aren't survival geniuses. These are the folks who would fail a basic aptitude test so spectacularly you'd check if the machine was plugged in. Yet they still somehow win at life. Here are 15 legendary figures who treated logic as an optional setting and survived to tell the tale. Number 1. Timothy Dexter, the accidental mogul. Timothy Dexter is living proof that the universe occasionally turns on easy mode for players who are clearly lost. His wealthy rivals thought he was a fool, so they gave him investment advice meant to bankrupt him, like shipping heating pans to the West Indies, a place so hot people barely want to wear skin, let alone warm it. Dexter bought in. Naturally, the locals bought every single pan to use as giant molasses scoops. He sold out instantly. Next, he shipped coal to Newcastle, the coal capital of the world. He arrived exactly when the local miners went on strike. Supply plummeted, prices soared, and Dexter made another fortune. If cluelessness had a stock ticker, Dexter would have been the market leader. Number 2. Aylmer, the flying monk. Aylmer was a 10th century monk who looked at birds and thought, I can do that. I just need some wood and a bit of spirit. He built a pair of DIY wings, climbed a monastery tower, and leaped. Surprisingly, he didn't just fall, he glided for 200 meters. The crowd was ready to enroll in his flight school until the wind shifted. Lacking a tail or a steering wheel, Aylmer dropped like a stone and shattered both legs. He lived, however, claiming his only mistake was forgetting to add a tail for balance. He didn't fly well, but he flew just long enough to become the patron saint of halfway decent bad ideas. Number 3. The bedsheet paratrooper. An English farmer once decided his weaving skills were a perfect substitute for actual aerodynamics. He strapped a bedsheet to his back, climbed his roof, and radiated the confidence of a man about to change travel forever. He jumped. The sheet flapped uselessly, spinning him around like a broken windmill. It offered zero drag and even less hope. However, fate placed a very thick, very forgiving bush exactly where he landed. The farmer popped up immediately, shocked to find all his teeth still in his mouth. It was a demo version of flight, where the developer forgot to code the landing, but luck patched the bug. Number 4. Claudius, the accidental emperor. Claudius proved that being the awkward relative is the ultimate survival strategy. While his royal family was busy murdering each other in political purges, they ignored Claudius because they thought he was too anxious to be a threat. When the Emperor Caligula was assassinated, the guards swept the palace looking for a successor. They pulled back a curtain and found Claudius hiding, trembling like a student who didn't do his homework. Instead of killing him, they crowned him. They figured a man who was that scared couldn't possibly plot against them. He became emperor simply because he was the last man standing in a game he wasn't even playing. Number 5. Wenceslao Mogel, the bulletproof man. Wenceslao was a man who, when faced with a firing squad, decided that standing still was a top-tier tactic. He didn't run or bargain. 9 soldiers opened fire. He took a bullet to the cheek and several more to the body, yet he didn't die. He lay perfectly still, testing a meditation technique while the soldiers left. Once it was quiet, he simply crawled away to find a doctor. If life were a video game, Wenceslao had a permanent God mode glitch enabled. He didn't have a survival instinct, he just had a body that treated bullets like minor inconveniences. Number 6. Frayne Salak, the world's luckiest unlucky man. Frayne is the human equivalent of a system error. His life was a marathon of disasters. He fell out of a plane, landed in a haystack, survived a train derailment, a bus plunge into a river, and 2 car explosions. Each time he walked away with the casual energy of an actor finishing a boring scene. It defied statistics and the audience's patience.
To finish the joke, the universe let him win the lottery the first time he bought a ticket in 40 years. He spent his life escaping death, only to retire on a pile of cash. Number 7. Peter Freuchen, the Arctic MacGyver. Trapped under a mountain of Arctic ice with no tools, Peter Freuchen didn't panic. He looked at the only material he had available, his own waste. He froze his output into the shape of a chisel, waited for it to become rock hard, and literally dug his way out of a frozen grave with a poop blade. After escaping, he realized his toes were frostbitten, so he cut them off himself with pliers, no anesthesia. Peter is the patron saint of reckless decisions that work in ways no one should ever try to replicate.
Number 8. Mad Jack Churchill, Swords in a Gunfight. While other soldiers brought rifles to World War II, Mad Jack brought a longbow, a broadsword, and bagpipes. He claimed any officer who went into action without a sword was improperly dressed. He actually scored a kill with his bow in 1940 and led charges while playing the pipes to confuse the enemy. Bullets flew around him like they didn't want to ruin his vibe. He survived the entire war without a scratch, proving that if you're committed enough to your aesthetic, the universe might just let you live. Number 9. King Wenceslas, saved by the snooze. History has kings who survived through armies, but Wenceslas survived because of his duvet. Assassins were waiting outside his church, fully armed and ready to end his reign. But Wenceslas overslept. He didn't have a vision, he just didn't want to leave his warm bed. The assassins waited so long they started doubting their calendars and eventually retreated, convinced the plan was leaked. Wenceslas woke up, had breakfast, and lived, completely unaware he had defeated a coup by being lazy. Number 10. James Bartley, the human whale snack. Bartley fell off a whaling boat and was swallowed whole by a sperm whale. Most stories end there. But when the crew killed the whale 15 hours later and started cutting it open, they found James inside the stomach, alive but bleached white by gastric juices. He had no hair left, and his skin looked like paper, but he was breathing. He walked away from being a whale's lunch without losing a single limb, effectively becoming a real-life Jonah who never expected to be a science project. Number 11. The Flying Sailor of Halifax. During the massive Halifax explosion, this sailor was standing way too close to the pier. The blast launched him into the air like a human cannonball. He flew over a kilometer, literally 1,000 meters through the sky. He landed in a patch of grass with his clothes blown off, but his life intact. He stood up looking confused, with only minor bruises. Experts still argue over the physics, but the sailor just treated it as a very fast commute he didn't plan for. Number 12. King Zog, the Royal Gunslinger. Most kings run for cover during an ambush, not King Zog. When an assassin attacked him in Vienna, Zog pulled out his own pistol and started a shootout right on the sidewalk. He fired back with the speed of a Western movie hero. He survived over 50 assassination attempts during his life, treating them like annoying pop-up ads. He didn't rely on luck, he just made sure he was the most dangerous person in the room at all times. Number 14. Adolfo Suarez, saved by a bird. Suarez was on a hunting trip when his friend accidentally swung a shotgun toward his head and pulled the trigger. At that exact microsecond, a random bird flew directly into the bullet's path. The bird took the hit, and Suarez didn't get a scratch. It was the shortest and most effective bodyguard contract in history. Some call it a miracle. Others call it a very unlucky day for the bird. Suarez just realized that sometimes nature takes the bullet for you. Number 15. Emperor Bokassa, the Tray Shield. During a grenade attack at a formal reception, Bokassa's life was saved by a waiter. The waiter didn't have a bulletproof vest, he had a stainless steel serving tray. He instinctively raised the tray and the grenade hit the metal, deflected away, and exploded in an empty corner.
It is likely the only time in history a piece of kitchenware has defeated a military-grade explosive. Bokassa lived, and the waiter became a legend of the service industry. 15 people who walked through the fire and didn't even smell like smoke. Which one do you think had the most God-tier luck? Let me know in the comments.